Darth Vader versus Darth Maul. Two iconic Sith Lords are going at it, both with the power of the dark side backing them. And while who's ultimately coming out on top? Who'd win this fight, and is it even gonna be close? Let's get into it. Starting out, let's take a little closer look at Darth Vader. And the first thing that we gotta recognize is that if we truly wanted to use Vader in his prime, then we would use this version of Vader. Anakin Skywalker was the most powerful Jedi in over a millennium, and he had unprecedented power in the Force. By Revenge of the Sith, he was more powerful than anyone on the Jedi Council, even Master Yoda. Even Darth Sidious had to concede that Anakin was potentially more powerful than him. And during the duel on Mustafar, this was Vader at arguably the height of his power. He's the chosen one. But then he was defeated by Obi-Wan, he caught on fire, had like half his body cut off by this point, and was put inside the cybernetic suit keeping him alive. And according to George Lucas, lost a lot of his power and potential in the process. Now that he's half man and half machine, he lost a lot of the ability in the Force because there just isn't as much human left. So where before he had the potential to be twice as powerful as the Emperor, now he's operating at maybe 80% of the Emperor's power, more on par with Darth Maul and Count Dooku. It also messed him up as a lightsaber fighter too. He lost and had to relearn a lot of the skill and ability that he had as Anakin, and definitely lost all that self-confidence that he had. Of course, there are other things to suggest that this isn't the case at all, and Darth Vader actually did get more powerful after putting on the suit, and that his prime was really around Return of the Jedi. Like, he lost his first fight against Obi-Wan Kenobi. First few fights, really. But by the time that New Hope rolls around, well, Vader was powerful enough to beat him. And it wasn't just the fact that Obi-Wan was older now and couldn't fight as well with a lightsaber. One, because Obi-Wan had killed Darth Maul while in this same state. But two, because they were also having a Force battle at the same time during this fight. We just couldn't see that playing out with our eyes. But old Ben was wearing out and losing the fight before the fight even began. Just by being around Vader's presence in the Force was enough to tire Obi-Wan out. He had been growing more and more powerful in the dark side of the Force, tapping into a whole new power stream than before. And he's actually come to believe that his injuries only made him stronger and increased his connection to the Force. His pain fed his hate, and his anger, his hate turned into strength, suggesting he's still becoming even more powerful as Vader. So definitely a debate there. But honestly, just because we'll have access to a lot more cool stuff, we're gonna say his prime is Return of the Jedi. Darth Vader has been consistently called one of the deadliest Sith in history, one of the most powerful entities in the galaxy, and someone with the potential to rival or even possibly overthrow the Emperor himself. And this kinda did come to fruition. He did kill the Emperor, even if the death didn't really stick. His Force power manifests itself in a lot of different ways, from telepathy to creating Force barriers or amping himself with Force rage, but his primary has to be telekinesis. He's able to tear apart AT-ATs, bring down trees the size of buildings, or even bring down huge buildings themselves. His raw power is absolutely insane. And he's not necessarily just a bull in a china shop either. Darth Vader has pretty substantial control over everything around him. He's even able to force choke someone from all the way across the galaxy. But it doesn't just stop there. Outside of his insane connection with the Force, Vader is also a tremendously gifted and deadly fighter. He's impossibly strong, and he can use this in a fight, easily overpowering other Jedi or lightsaber fighters. He's surprisingly fast. Even with his robotic armor, he can block pretty much all attacks coming his way, and it's even been said that he's faster than the Emperor himself. Then where Vader shines is his durability, which makes sense. He's already missing half of his body and replaced it with metal. Even before that, he was still pretty good at enduring pain. Vader can legit walk through blaster fire, walk through explosions. It almost doesn't even faze him for the most part. He was even able to take Palpatine's Force Lightning. This is an attack powerful enough to have Maul crying on the floor and begging for mercy. Maul, the guy who feeds off of pain to make him grow stronger in the Force, and survived literally being cut in half. Palpatine's lightning had him screaming out, but when Sidious hit Vader with enough lightning to make his skeleton show up through the armor, I don't even know how that one's possible, well, Vader just kept on pushing, determined to kill him. Then there's just straight his skill. He's the best duelist the Empire has, and fights with a unique and unpredictable style that actually takes bits and elements from all combat techniques. He got more and more skilled between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and then between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, to the point where it was said he was unparalleled in terms of pure skill. He had no equal, putting him above the likes of Obi-Wan, Luke, and maybe even the Emperor himself. Darth Maul is a man cursed to fail. He's Sisyphus, cursed to roll a boulder up a hill for all of eternity, only once he reaches the top, the boulder rolls back down to the bottom. He's never gonna win, never gonna get what he wants, and he knows that. He's in on the joke. He never truly wanted to be a Sith. It's just that every emotion inside of him fell short of his rage and of his hatred, till it became where there was no other road for him to choose. Hatred became the driving force in his life. Hatred of Obi-Wan, hatred of Palpatine, hatred of Jedi, hatred of Sith, hatred of himself. And even then, because his life is a tragedy, he can still never succeed, never get the vengeance that he wants. He's destined to fail and fail again. Now, starting out, it's important to remember that the Force can do so much more than just pushing and pulling things around, or doing cool mind tricks or stuff like that. You can actually channel the Force into yourself, use it to boost your strength, your durability, your speed, things like that. I mean, how else do you think Darth Maul survived literally being cut in half? But the Force also makes him incredibly, ridiculously strong. I mean, just look at this, overpowering Raftars, the same things that were wreaking havoc in Force Awakens. I don't even know how Han and Chewie were able to catch these things in the first place, and here's Maul physically overpowering one. He's fought hand-to-hand against Savage Opress, like the strongest guy in the Clone Wars, a guy who's already overpowered Anakin Skywalker. He's just physically toyed with Obi-Wan Kenobi more times than you can count. Maul even overpowered General Grievous. Darth Maul is also insanely fast, as are all Force users. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are able to move as just blurs, way faster than any human ever. And yet Maul is still able to fight 2-on-1 against both of them and hold his own and really be winning the fight. And that's not the only time he's done this either. He's also moved faster than Mace Windu, and he was faster than Ahsoka too. Dude is just straight up fast. But probably the most impressive thing for Maul is just how tough he is. I mean, the guy literally got cut in half of his body missing, and he didn't die. He was carried on living through just his hate, just his anger. He's survived explosions, laughed off attacks, Maul is just a bundle of rage and aggression and hatred, and it's really allowed him to pretty much become indifferent to pain. He's even survived Sidious's lightning, the same thing that took out Mace Windu, took out Darth Vader. Darth Maul is also just an absolute beast when it comes to fighting with a lightsaber. He's a master of 2 different lightsaber fighting styles, Neiman Form 6 and Juyo Form 7. And these 2 styles are super different, they balance each other out well. Neiman focuses a whole lot more on the use of the Force over a lightsaber, making it one of the least physical of all the styles. Juyo is pretty much the exact opposite. It's the most aggressive and unpredictable form out there. Maul actually has to amp himself with the Force whenever he fights, in order to not tire himself out, because he's all about unleashing just a lethal combo of rapid strikes and powerful blows, pretty much just fighting with controlled rage and fury. And it worked out real well for him. He's shown that he's a better fighter than Qui-Gon Jinn, one of the best duelists the Jedi had. He's a better fighter than Obi-Wan Kenobi too. He was able to fight against both of them at once, kill Qui-Gon, and he had Obi-Wan beat as well. It was really only a surprise sneak attack and Maul's own cockiness and arrogance that beat him here. And really, you don't gotta take my word for it. Maul's proven that's true. Ever since he's come back, Darth Maul and Obi-Wan have actually squared off several times, and for the most part, Maul's come out on top. Obi-Wan can try and fight against Maul by himself, with other Jedi, even team up with other Sith like Asajj Ventress. Darth Maul is usually always coming out on top. Of course, Obi-Wan did win the only fight that ended up truly mattering, but still, Maul definitely showed that he's an amazing, exceptional duelist. And it's not like Obi-Wan Kenobi is the only guy that Darth Maul's beaten. He's fought against General Grievous, beat him, fought against Mace Windu, I guess technically won that one. Sidious actually considered Maul to be a better fighter than Dooku. He's fought against the Grand Inquisitor and other Inquisitors, who are these former Jedi that turned to the dark side and were trained by Darth Vader. He's fought against Ahsoka several times, both in Clone Wars and in Rebels, and even though Maul has never technically fought against Anakin or Darth Vader, Dave Filoni, who's basically like George Lucas light, said that a fight between Maul and Vader would be insanely close. It's so hard to say, it's almost too close to call. So that's most everyone who Darth Maul's fought against, except for one, Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine. Yeah, that's right, Maul has fought against one of the best lightsaber fighters in the universe, someone who could beat Grand Master Yoda, and lived to tell about it. And he actually did alright. I mean, still lost, was still begging for his life at the end, but just the fact that Maul was able to hold his own in a fight at all is actually insanely impressive, especially since this is what Palpatine usually does to the Jedi Council. Now, physicals are nice. Being good with a lightsaber is always a plus, but you really want to show off? Well, that's with Force power. And for whatever's been said about him in the past, saying that he didn't finish his training, saying that he was trained as more of a Sith assassin than a Sith Lord, saying that he doesn't have a strong connection to the Force, you can just throw all of that out. None of that is true about Darth Maul. Darth Maul was hand-picked by Sidious to be his apprentice for a reason, because Maul has a great connection to the Force. He's got serious potential, and really Maul should have been so much more than what he was. Maul understands that. Sidious himself admitted that. Like losing Count Dooku, that was part of the plan. Dooku was just a catalyst to turn Anakin to the dark side. He was never going to be a long-term option as an apprentice. But Darth Maul? Well, Palpatine himself said that one was a true loss. That shouldn't have happened. that one actually hurt the Sith Order. And then when he came back, well, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Dooku, pretty much everyone of significance in the Force, they noticed it, realized the sinister threat that was coming their way, even feared it, was scared of it. And while Palpatine wasn't necessarily scared, he definitely realized that a threat was emerging. Maul was going to be a challenge. He was a rival. So yeah, to say that Darth Maul isn't powerful in the Force, that's just wrong. You're just off. And in a fight, well, Darth Maul has toyed with, ragdolled around, just overpowered Obi-Wan. Done it actually quite a bit. And it's not like Obi-Wan is weak in the Force. He's a Jedi Master. And that's not all. So Darth Vader has an awesome hallway scene. Well, Darth Maul might just have him beat. Like, look at this. It's just sick. It's mind-blowing what Maul is doing here. And with no lightsaber, all with the Force. Just complete mastery over the dark side. And you want to talk about true mastery of the dark side? Well, what about surviving being literally cut in half? Just chopped right through the middle and surviving solely because of the Force. Darth Maul is one of the most powerful Sith Lords ever and is such a force to be reckoned with. So, who wins here? Well, let's break it down. Now, when you're pitting two Sith Lords like this against each other, well, you can bet it's going to be an intense and fierce fight. You can bet it's going to be a really close fight. But really, this fight just comes down to lightsaber skill and Force power. And Darth Vader takes the edge in both of these. And that's not to say that Darth Maul isn't a skilled fighter, and he definitely is powerful in the Force. It's just to say that if Darth Maul is considered an 8 when it comes to lightsaber fighting, well, Darth Vader, or Anakin, would be considered a 9, on par with the likes of Yoda or Palpatine. As Anakin, while he was said to be the only fighter in the Jedi Order who was on par with Yoda, he was that good. When he transitioned into becoming Vader, while he did have to relearn his body and adjust his fighting style, he didn't really lose any of his skill or ability. In fact, people were able to figure out that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker just by watching Vader fight and recognizing Anakin's style and ability. Same with the Force. I think Darth Maul needs to be given more credit than he's received. He does have powerful Force abilities and is a bona fide Sith Lord, not just a Sith assassin like Asajj Ventress or someone. But he's fighting against the Chosen One. He was never gonna beat Vader in a battle of the Force. Both have used the Force before to survive fatal injuries, but Vader took the Force and all his rage and anger and hatred, and it only made him more powerful. Darth Maul also has an equal amount of rage and hate and anger, but it doesn't seem like he can channel it as well, or let his emotions get out of control, and doesn't seem quite as good at channeling his emotions to make himself more powerful. I guess that's what years upon years of solitude will do to you. End of the day, Darth Maul is great. Darth Vader is better. And I think Darth Maul knows it too. When Ahsoka and Maul fought at the end of the Clone Wars, while Maul was prepared for Anakin Skywalker to show up and to fight against him, Ahsoka was pretty confident that Maul would have no shot at beating him. In fact, Ahsoka thought it was a good thing that she showed up instead, because Anakin probably wouldn't have left Maul alive. And even after Anakin became Vader, well, Maul was still scared of him. When Darth Vader was about to show up in Rebels, well, Darth Maul was obviously scared, and he knew he needed to run away because he wasn't making it out of that one alive. The fight is closer than you think, because Darth Maul is more powerful than you think, but it would still go the same way as a fight like Darth Maul versus Darth Sidious. Maul is able to hold his own and he performs respectfully, but Darth Vader is ultimately coming out on top. Darth Vader wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.